Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk, a call-in show on the Skeptic Haven channel. Let's Talk is a safe space for atheists, those questioning or leaving religion, and anyone that wants to ask questions and have respectful discussions. From the U.S., call us at 984-789-4787. And from outside the U.S., you can call in from your computer by using the little URL at the bottom of the screen. Ain't technology wonderful?
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.
Hey,
Here we are.
yeah, I haven't seen the new intro yet. That was cool.
You haven't seen that?
No,
Really? That was a new one? I wasn't paying
well,
attention.
it's new to me. I always
Okay.
remembered the skateboarding one, but
Oh, yeah. I guess so. I'm typing shit on my little pad here for all the intro stuff and stuff like that because for some reason my pad decided to go blah and got rid of it all. So I don't know what the hell happened. Anyways,
that's a
not the
broken
first time.
pad if it makes noises like that.
So how you been doing, man?
Pretty good. How you been?
I'm all right. I got Jason Freer got in touch with me and is asking me for names of creators and stuff that he could throw to an email list to
Yeah.
offer lower prices for the BajaCon for any
Yeah,
creators.
they're really leaning hard into like encouraging creators to come out almost like their own little press group, like get as many anyone of any size, anyone who wants to come, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I gave him a whack load of people, like anyone I could think of off the top of my head, right? So there's like 40 odd people. You were on that list, but I think he already thought about you anyways.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna ask you if you got an email yet from him.
Well, I've got direct messaging to him, and I'm kind of hosting the main show there that we're going to do from the floor. So one of the things that he's hoping to email creators about is we're going to do a live stream from the floor at BajaCon on the Saturday night. So
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm already kind of like attached to that. So it'd be redundant to email me.
Yeah, I suppose so. I guess so.
I was just gonna hot seat it and just be like, whatever creators happen to be there or whatever, like rotate them in because I wouldn't want to leave anybody out either because I know that there'll be probably some people there that have YouTube channels that maybe they'll just start and so I was thinking of like we'll have a couple of seats and we'll just rotate people out and give everyone a chance to sit in and talk and whatever. But
for sure I'm gonna video bomb you, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
You're gonna be running. I'm gonna be going behind, going.
Yeah. Well, the other thing we want to try to do too is we want to try to live stream to like as many channels at the same time as possible.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have enough space to like actually like have like 8 channels that we can live stream to at one time. So,
right.
It'll be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I see my very good friend and co-host on my show is in the chat, Mr. Mikey Famine.
Hey, Mike. Nice to see you.
Yeah, we were going to have a show last night. I'm sure you're familiar with Elliot or Secular Rarity.
Mm-hmm.
He got into a car accident, so he's
a
little bit on the shook up side. He's fine. He tells me he's fine. He's probably a little bruised up, but he's a little shook up. So we postponed last night's show. I was going to still go on and just do a hangout, but after dealing with some personal shit, like family-wise and stuff like that, I had a bit of a headache, and I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do this tonight. So we just decided to put off for the week, and we'll come back and chat with our guest for next week.
Well, I'm glad he's all right. The last episode I was on was with him, and we didn't have call-in studio, so we just did a fish for a YouTube video, and we just reacted to it. It actually worked out pretty well, actually.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's turning into a fucking shit show down there. I just saw recently they're about China getting ready. They're adding, I can't remember the percentage towards their defense, but they're adding more stuff to their defense because they're expecting some kind of something to go down with the U.S. So they're not sure if it'll be like a war or a trade war or whatever, but they're They're getting ready.
Yeah, what I know about certain countries and their military powers, China can't really do anything because no matter how big they make their military, they haven't got the infrastructure to move it anywhere.
Yeah.
So at best, they can only defend themselves on their own territory, or they'll need someone else to help them move their army around. And um, Russia's probably a little too busy to do it. And I don't know about North Korea, but yeah, so um, that, that doesn't worry me so much unless Trump was thinking about putting boots on China. But I
I
mean, that
doubt
would
that.
be,
That would be dumb.
I mean, I, we sit here and talk about how far fetched and crazy that would be. But you know what? It- It's all crazy. Like, did you see his speech the other day last week?
The
It wasn't like it wasn't
House
an
address
official.
or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, but officially it wasn't though. He just literally went and addressed Congress, but it wasn't like a presidential. It wasn't a State of the Union officially. Like some people were
Right.
calling it that, but officially it wasn't. But he was actually like using like fighting words about Greenland. Like he was actually
Mhm.
saying like, "I think we're gonna get it one way or another," and it's just
Mhm.
like, what are you saying?
Yeah. 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 Also, apparently, some of the Democrats that were after he's going on and on and on and even touting like even Putin and whatnot. The Democrats and many of the Republicans, even MTG, were saying Trump is KGB. Trump is KGB. They could hear it
Yeah.
murmuring in the background and shit there. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, how many more steps does Trump have to take before somebody will officially say Trump is in Putin's pocket and we got
Oh
to do
well,
something about that?
what a lot of people don't seem to know is he owes them big time because they literally bailed his ass out back in the 90s and stuff like that, 80s and 90s
Yeah,
when he had, they bought floors in Trump Tower and shit like that just so he'd have money again, right? So,
yeah.
and one guy bought a house that he had. I can't remember who it was, but he paid like 10 times the price for it and never even moved in. It's like, what the hell? Like, yeah, he owes the Russians. So,
Yeah, it's a scary time. It's not a time I thought I would ever live to see. Like,
right.
I
Yeah,
I
it's
thought I was gonna go the rest of
weird.
my life ignoring politics because to me it was marginal differences and
Yeah.
party sizes, like their policies one versus the other. I used to just be kind of like, I don't care, whatever you want. But now it's like I'm paying so much attention now, and I can't I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Yeah, and now Trump wants to put these new huge like 250% tariffs on our dairy. Um,
250%.
yeah. So, but here's the thing. If there was one
What
thing you were
the
gonna,
fuck?
if there was one thing you were going to tariff Canada for, and have it be zero effectiveness, would be our dairy. So, I was watching this interview from this like professor at the University of Waterloo, and he's like the head dairy guy in Canada or something. He
Right.
goes, no, we regulate and monitor all of our dairy production so closely that we only make enough for us and to export a little bit. So we have no waste. Apparently, we're really good at not wasting dairy. He wants to tariff Canadian dairy because we don't buy American dairy. Because in America, apparently, they just turn the tap the milk tap on and they never stop. They just milk and milk and milk and milk
Is
to
that
the
like the
point
giant
that
water tap that we have?
yeah. So apparently they're like mass producing dairy and it's wasted dairy. They're not selling it because you can imagine that the weight of it plus the cooling refrigeration of it, it's not cheap to ship. You can only take it so far. Um, but instead of controlling how much dairy they output, they just like, we got to find a way to sell it. And apparently it's our fault we don't buy it because we are so specific with how much dairy and how regulated our dairy is.
Right.
Yeah, like I didn't know this, but if you tried to milk a cow, you said if you had your own cow and you milked it and you attempted to sell that milk, you're talking like federal crime. That's how regulated it is. You can use it for yourself, but you can't try to sell it. You know how like when you drive down the road and you see people selling their eggs, like free
Yeah.
eggs or not free eggs, but like buy some eggs from us. That's perfectly fine. But if someone were to put a sign saying like unpasteurized milk, Canada would just freak out.
Oh yeah. I've seen some funny videos of people at Costco buying like fucking carts full of the 30 packs of
What
eggs.
is that? In what lifetime are you using that many eggs?
Well, they could
Unless
have a
you're-
restaurant. They could have,
Yeah, unless you're a restaurant or some kind of like bakery, I guess.
maybe.
At that point, why are you buying from Costco? Wouldn't that be expensive? Like, don't you
No, be
deal with a
better.
supplier?
I don't know. I thought Costco, when you buy, especially if you buy in bulk, which these people were definitely doing, they're like for a 30 pack, it was like $11.99 there.
Mhm.
So, and I've seen dozen eggs in some places going for $29. So it's like, what the hell's
Yeah.
going on here, right? So
Yeah. Little egg secret. So for those of us in Canada, we have a little shop. We have a little chain here called Shoppers Drug Mart. Once a week, Shoppers Drug Mart will put eggs on sale for like $3.50 for a dozen eggs.
nice.
There's like a limit of like 2 per customer or whatever. But same thing with the milk. So like once a week, they put eggs and milk on sale. So if you just wait. I'm not too mad at our egg prices. Our dairy prices seem to be a little high though these days.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, buddy. I'm just still typing out all this fucking shit. I think I mentioned it. I had all the stuff on this pad and it just belched it all away for some reason. So I have no idea why, but I'm doing it
No,
again.
that's fine. It's all good.
Kind of just typing it in here while we're shooting the shit because we don't have any callers yet. So if there's anyone in the chat that wants to call in and what the hell is our topic tonight anyways? I didn't even look.
Well, I mean, the thumbnail was, did God create our world, or is our world created, or something like that?
Yeah, it was just ours though. None of the
Yeah.
other worlds. Yeah, just
Yeah,
this one.
no, they were, yeah. And in preparation for some questions about it, I was looking at some things about Earth and the history of Earth, and I found, you're familiar with Kent Hovind?
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I came across his argument about how the moon's moving away from the Earth like an inch a year or something like that. So he goes, if the Earth is like 4 billion years old, then that means that at one point the moon was touching the Earth as it rotated around it. and that if it did that,
What?
the tides would have been so high that it would have, and it's just like it's the most
wouldn't happen.
absurd.
Period.
It's so funny. That would basically mean that like 100,000 years ago or a million years ago or whatever, the Earth was only like 34 miles above the planet or something. Like, like could you imagine an Earth or a moon that close? And like, he doesn't think that the planets would just pull on themselves and tear each other apart with their gravitational pulls and stuff. Nope, that's just how the tides work. It's like the tides would have been so insane. Oh, it's just like, oh my god, the stuff this guy says. Does he hear himself?
I have no idea.
Like, put yourself in his shoes for a minute, and now you got to prepare some bullshit straw man situation. And you're coming up with like, how do I sell this? How am I going to spin this to make it make sense? And the stuff he comes on, like, have you seen his argument about the Grand Canyon and its connection to Noah's flood?
Yes, I've heard him talk about that.
Yeah. So the idea being that the Grand Canyon was basically created instantly when the water is drained from Noah's flood. And he demonstrated that by cutting a little hole in a dirt bridge he made. You see how quickly water cut through this sand I had? Crazy how this man spins his nonsense.
He's a fucking nut job.
Indeed.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's all right. I guess we got some friends doing a protest over at the Ark Encounter. They're coming up soon too.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel like I don't really care to ever visit, but yet on the other hand, it's like it'd be nice to be able to say I saw this thing at least once. I don't know. I'm not sure I could do an entire Ark Encounter and not get mad. Especially if I saw
I couldn't do it. I couldn't fucking do it. There's no way. I'd lose my shit.
Especially if there was an actual like school field trip running through there at the same time, I'd be like, this is just bad idea all around. Who we got out in the chat today? Here we got Mikey's out there. We got Alma's out there. Titan's out there.
Oh, nice.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Yeah. We got any callers yet? Anyone out there who wants to give us a call? The call-in studio link and phone number is pinned up there in the chat. You can also see the number above our heads and below us. If you want to call in and defend your positions on why God does the things that God does, it'd be very interesting. We would love to have that conversation. But until that moment comes, I guess you're just typing stuff over there.
Yeah,
you know
pretty much.
So I did something as far as the whole. Well, I'll ask you real quick first, actually.
All right.
Are you doing anything in regards to this boycott of American products and stuff?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah? Like, how hardcore into that have you gotten?
I think it's tough because I have to buy a couple of things that are U.S. made, like toothpaste.
Yeah, I don't think
toothpaste up here.
I don't think anybody's going to be standing at a grocery store ready to throw a picket sign at your head because you bought something that was American. But I think we're all probably picking and
doing
choosing
our
a
best
little
to
bit.
minimize.
Yeah. I was just curious, what things are you avoiding?
Well, I eat oatmeal in the mornings, right? Because it's part of my new diet structure. And I switched over to a Canadian company called Yummy, I think, or something like that, instead of the Quaker. And they're actually better. They have one called Blueberry Pancake. I was like, yes. So, I look for things that are actually Canadian. Like I buy little salad kits. They're made in the Okanagan, which is Canadian. I buy sandwich meats from Canadian companies, and I buy Canadian bread brands, and we buy Canadian eggs, Canadian dairy, all that stuff, right? So when it comes to groceries, most of the stuff we'd already been buying was Canadian anyways. So
yeah,
I just don't buy a lot of American stuff. Like I'll buy Cadbury chocolate bars rather than the Hershey style ones or whatever, right? So it's better chocolate anyway. So,
well, there's one thing I can't give up, and I don't see a path out of it for me.
Oh,
but it's mac and cheese, like Kraft Dinner, KD. I can't. I don't see myself not buying it. Like I can't.
KD, your Kraft is like almost like two entities now. They got the Canadian one because they make Kraft peanut butter. You can't get that in the US.
Right.
And KD is also you can only get that version of it here in Canada, right? You can't get KD in the US.
Oh, but they have the exact same.
Yeah, mac and cheese, it's called.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then that's good. Then I guess I was thinking to myself I was gonna have to stop buying that stuff because I for a quick lunch for me, I love it. And I canceled my Netflix. I said, screw it. I don't need it.
Did you?
Yep.
I barely use mine anyways. I haven't been using it. I've been doing
Canceled my
Crunchyroll, though.
Netflix. I canceled my Disney Plus. And when the little option, the little box where it says, "Why are you canceling?" I said, "Because you're American and I'm Canadian." Literally wrote it like that. Yeah. But yeah, we're trying to be a little bit conscious of the stuff we're buying, but sometimes it's a little misleading too, right? Because you get the whole like it's packaged in Canada, or like Lay's potato chips. It's like it's an American company, even though they're literally made with Canadian potatoes in Canada. So you kind of like there might be a little bit of a licensing or royalty going over to the American company, but you're still supporting all of these like Canadian employees and farmers. So I guess it's fine,
Right.
Like McDonald's, right? Like the French fries in Canada, the fries at McDonald's are all made with Canadian potatoes.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, it's an American company, but for the most part, the ingredients are different. So yeah, there's a little bit of leeway in that direction, I guess.
Okay, I think I got everything. I think I'm done here finally.
Looks like we got Maya's showed up in the chat too, and you are Victoria. How you guys doing? Thanks for coming.
Yay! I haven't paid much attention to the comments. Sorry, guys. I'll say it again because other people were not here when I said it. My little swing it over here. My little pad thing that I use for the intro and all the little tags or whatever they call them that you do in between all the segments. It threw up all the information somewhere. It's disappeared into the void, so I had to redo it all. Dag nabbit.
Dag nabbit. Dag nabbit.
Yeah, who says that? Apparently I do.
Yeah, you go into the liquor stores in Ontario as well, and like all the shelves are bare of American products now.
Yep.
California wines are taken down. All the whiskeys and bourbons are taken down. No Jack Daniels here anymore.
Nope. No American beer. No nothing.
No American beer either?
Nope.
Like they took all the Bud Light down and everything?
Yep.
Wow.
At least here they did in some of the places we got here.
Yeah, I guess
there's one little place here, an independent one that's got some, but they got rid of most of them.
Yeah. I'm not sure what it's like for you, but in Ontario, our province controls and runs a lot of our beer and liquor.
Ours does too.
So
bottled water, yeah, pretty much, yeah. That's what they're making fun of. One of the memes I saw was, look, there's the Canadians getting rid of the bottled water section of their beer store.
I mean, my wife loves like the Bud Light Lime, but I guess she's not getting that anymore.
Nope, not right now anyways.
But on the bright side too, I guess we had a lot of like interprovincial laws that it was actually easier for a Canadian to trade with an American than it was for a Canadian to trade with another Canadian.
Really?
Thanks to especially regarding wine and alcohol products, for example, and tobacco. So now they're getting a little bit more lenient on the laws as to like who can sell what where. Our country is opening up to itself in response to this, that we can't trade with Americans anymore. I think it was at Saskatchewan, I think even said basically, we're just going to drop all the rules to any one other province who also just says, screw it. We're dropping all the laws and rules and we're just going to allow free trade across borders.
Just a response to Alma in the chat. It says, Neil, get Mexican beer. I don't drink Corona. It's crap, but I do like Dos Equis. So there you go. I very much like that. Usually when I go out, I get Dos Equis because I like it. For a lager style. Most of the time I drink ales and stuff like that. So
I don't drink it all.
Y'all out. No, I don't anymore either. If I do, it's non-alcoholic beer. Which I don't know, to me is kind of pointless, like decaf coffee. It's like taking a fucking shower with a raincoat on. It's like
I'm
no
totally
point to it.
drinking totally drinking decaf coffee right now.
Are you? That's okay. I got
Um,
water because I can't drink beer anymore.
No, I mean I like coffee though, and I got to be able to get some sleep after this show. So I didn't want to have a full on real coffee because
Oh,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
3 hours ahead of you. By the time this thing ends, it'll be 11 or 10.
Yeah, that's right. That's right too. Keep forgetting you're in the future.
Right. Yeah.
Tell me what the winning lottery numbers are.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah, it's exciting and interesting to see our own country just be like, yeah, all right, you can sell your wines over here and we'll sell our stuff over there and stuff. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's
Canada
weird that was the way it was.
has made lots of new trade partners across the world now too.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah, great. We're getting big support from the UK.
yep.
Um,
And
and
of all
it looks
Europe in
like
general.
and China apparently, which
Yep.
really got to be pissing Trump off.
Yeah. Well, we have a large Chinese population here in Canada.
Doug Ford was reelected again in my province.
Was he?
Third consecutive majority term, first time in history
Wow.
that a premier got 3 consecutive terms and maintained a majority. And as soon as he did, he went right to work. So he's he's going forward. He doesn't care this game that Trump is playing. They're like, oh, we'll put a pause. Ford's like, nope, forget it. We're just tearing
Yeah.
We're not going to play the game.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. But I heard an interesting theory, and it really got me worried. Or not, well, maybe not worried, but was like, holy crap, could it be Trump keeps threatening tariff to the point of where he basically says tariffs are on right now, they're happening, and then 12 hours later he's like, okay, we won't put them here, or we'll pause them for a little while, and it's causing the markets over there to be this yo-yo.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently people big CEOs of big corporations are paying Trump anywhere between $1 and $5 million for an opportunity to have dinner with him in Mar-a-Lago. And what they're doing is they are buying and selling on the slumps between the pauses of Trump's threats for tariffs. So the market drops 600 points because tariffs are going to go into effect tomorrow. Trump says, nah, we'll pause it. And then all these rich guys go in, buy the market. It goes up in over a couple of weeks. They get out, and then Trump starts threatening tariffs again.
Almost like
and it keeps dropping.
To make his billionaire buddies even more billionaire-ish.
Yeah. Now, if people are actually paying him cash money to come have dinner with him in Mar-a-Lago, discuss these things, that's got to be an instant, you're not president anymore. If that's true, that's got to be.
Oh, there are so many things he's done that you shouldn't be president anymore for. So
yeah, fair enough.
He was impeached twice already, right? Probably going to be impeached again at some point.
I'm surprised you haven't already been impeaching him.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. I hear a lot of Americans saying come on, Democrats, do something. And a lot of people pretty upset with the Democrats and their response to all of this stuff.
Well, it's like they got no balls now.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I heard one Democrat say that Trump might be throwing a lot of bad pitches, but you don't want to swing at all of them. He gave some weird baseball analogy, and it's no, you should totally be getting on top of all of them. You should just overwhelm him to the point where he can't do anything else. But
yeah, Russian asset. Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, a Maverick being Frank says, God 777, Justin 666. All right.
God's playing a slot machine, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
3 sevens.
Woo.
Oh, man.
What is it, a Maverick calling? Tell us.
Yeah, Maverick call in.
Tell us. See if you can convince us.
Maybe I'll change my score. I mean, it's I've always said that me being here, it's easy mode, right? I am the most basic atheist you'll ever meet. If there was ever an opportunity to make an atheist look dumb, I'm your best shot. So bring it up. Let's go. Come on over here. Like I'm that guy that when I see a commercial, I'm on Amazon instantly going, "Oh, how much is it? I'll buy it." Like I'm so easily influenced that you could
Oh,
just
really?
you could throw your straw man at me and I'll catch them all like Pokemon.
Yeah. Build a giant scarecrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so easy to get, but I tend to go off the rails every once in a while. You know what it is, though? It's because you hear the same fucking boring ass arguments over and over and over again. Boring ass in the fact that they've already been demonstrated to be ridiculous, whatever they may be.
Yeah, it's very much like having a conversation with someone who isn't listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I kind of discovered that the last time I was on with SR, where
Might as well talk the thing, right? So
yeah, the last time I was on with SR, the video we watched was like something like the top 6 best arguments or something for against atheism or whatever. And
they think.
honestly, it was basically the 6 only the 6 arguments we hear all the time, right? Like
is one of them the look at
fine-tuning
the trees
argument,
argument?
morality,
Oh God, here we
like
go.
all of that stuff.
When are they going to understand that the universe is not fine-tuned? It's pure chaos out there.
Yeah, and the most perfect analogy that, again, they've heard 100 times, which just shows they're not listening, but it's so simple to understand, is it's like a puddle saying that, "Wow, this hole fits me perfectly." Like, that's just not how the universe works.
Yeah.
Right?
The puddle analogy, yeah.
And if you can't understand that, and if you've never heard it before, then you're not paying attention. But yeah, it'd be interesting to hear a new argument because we are literally here with our hands open, just like you couldn't ask for more. Like the conversation is here. We're open to the conversation. We're ready to hear it. We're ready to have it. We're reaching across the table, but it gets a little annoying when you bring the same silliness every single time. And you know what? I think the hardest part, if I was a theist, and a Christian specifically, is defending that Bible. What?
Yeah.
It's not worthy of being like a fire starting kindling book. It's just not. It's so trash. It offers very little anything to be compelling.
I know one thing about the Bible. Makes great
Yeah?
rolling paper. Just saying. When you're hard up, you do things.
Yeah, oh yeah. We've done things too when I was younger, sure. That's not
that was last week.
Oh wow. You know that's really? I hope not. I hope you're joking.
No, I did not last week. I've done it in the past though.
I'm just trying to imagine a world where we can't afford $2 for papers.
I got a box of them, so I'm good.
I mean, since legalizing too, is like we got some fancy ones and like huge blunt ones that you never would have saw back in the day without having a special order from somewhere.
Yeah, I don't roll anymore. I just buy these fucking things.
Yeah, and for that matter, yeah. Why are you rolling even when you can buy them like perfectly rolled, like the most beautifully rolled? Yep, look at that, color coded even.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
The packaging is a little. Isn't that packaging nuts though?
Yeah.
A little overkill. It's like a Pelican case or something.
They all fell out. I like it. I like the packaging. I think it's good. You can keep them and use it for other things later.
Yeah. I like the edibles. I think what a fantastic way. If you just don't want to be smoking it, what a great way to just eat a couple gummy bears and you're all set.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I'm picking up all the doobies that flew everywhere.
Oh man, Kamala might have won if she would have had legalizing marijuana on part of her platform.
Well, all the stoners that wouldn't have got off the couch probably would have got off the couch.
Yeah. I don't know. Is marijuana culture as big in America as it is in Canada to actually would it be
Especially
enough
here
to
in BC.
influence an election?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I don't live down there.
Yeah.
I think it might be able to affect it to some degree.
What I heard
Area
about.
says
Go
yes.
ahead. Yes, it would be. Okay. You know what I heard about what it takes to win an election in Ontario, in my province? Apparently, all you got to do is promise a new highway and you'll win. Like, statistically speaking, for the last 30, 40 years, all you got to do is promise a new highway and you end up winning.
Really?
Yeah, so
Wow.
Doug Ford is trying to build a tunnel that goes underneath, through Toronto, so that anybody who's just trying to get to the other side of Toronto, you can just go and you don't have to worry about all the traffic.
Wow, that's actually a really good idea.
I happen to know that first responders would hate that idea because it's really tough to get into a tunnel to rescue anybody without disrupting the
Fair.
flow of traffic and stuff. Because you pretty much have to close the tunnel, and then depending on how bad the accident is, you have to deal with that mess.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because in the city that I'm in, we've got one of those skyway bridges that goes over the canals.
Yeah.
And it needs to be shut down for repairs now. Like, it's that old. And the city was discussing a similar thing about putting a tunnel under the canal instead of building another bridge. And the fire chief was like, well, then, yeah, but then if there's an accident, a pain in the ass.
Yeah, we've back in my day, back when I was a tow truck driver, way back, we're going like early 90s here. We have a tunnel here called the Massey Tunnel, and when there was an accident in there, and there's been a couple of really bad ones, at least when I was working for them anyways. Like, this poor guy in a Beamer was bouncing off the walls and just tore the shit up out of that thing, and they had to shut it down. And luckily, at that accident happened. Not luckily that accident happened, but luckily the timing of the accident was late enough at night where the tunnel wasn't full of people. It didn't happen at rush hour, we'll say. So they didn't really have to do much to keep people from. They could just shut it down to one lane and everyone go through, and there's barely anyone there. And then they had the whole other lane, and it wasn't causing much problem. Guy that was in that accident, though, I guess God was watching out for him because he didn't have a scratch on him. But he was very drunk. And that happens a lot with drunk people when they get in accidents. They just they're already loose, and they just kind of all loosey-goosey float around their cars and not really get hurt.
Isn't that always the way? God intervenes just at the last moment. He didn't God didn't intervene and make it so the guy's car didn't start. He's like, no, we'll let him
put
try
on his
it.
fucking dashboard. You should probably slow down.
Yeah, no, we'll just, if he crashes, we'll let him live. That's all. It's so crazy. Like, Trump's going around talking about the assassination attempt on himself and how he believes that God stepped in that day. And I'm just like, really? God stepped in and maybe gave you a small boo-boo on the ear, but kind of went to everyone else who got hit by a bullet, including the one gentleman that died, whose name Trump can't even pronounce.
If he got a boo-boo, because it sure as fuck didn't look like it the day after.
Yeah.
And yes, you are Victoria. Horrigan did get reelected about 5 years ago by promising to replace the tunnel, and that's still on the table as far as I know. But they just have to figure out the best way to go about it. They either want to twin the tunnel or build a bridge.
Yeah,
where the tunnel is.
I think the bridge is the way to go.
A lot of big ships go through there, so they'd have to literally go like this, and I don't know if they could really do it. So.
No, they can. Where I live is where all of the canals for the Great Lakes come through. I literally can throw a rock at the canal from my house. They're called skyways. That's what I was talking about. The one skyway we have, the big huge bridge that goes over so that the big boats can still go underneath. without having to like have a drawbridge where people would have to wait, needs to be like shut down for repairs because it's like 50 or 60 years old now.
Right. Well, if
Um,
you knew the area I was referring to, it's kind of a weird, awkward location.
yeah.
So it would take a lot of work to make that happen. Like,
Yeah, that's the downside
yeah,
with the bridges. They take a lot more land because you gotta have,
yes,
like,
yeah,
the upward
the
gain to
build
the
up,
bridge, and the down takes a
grade, and
lot of
all
re
that.
where the tunnel is just underneath. But apparently we're also getting, a super train from Toronto to Quebec City now. For like 2036 or something, I think is the plan for it to be finished.
Fair
Being
enough.
so
I
normally a trip from Toronto to Montreal would be 6 hours, but the train, it'll be 3-hour trip to Montreal.
Yeah, you're Victoria. I'm thinking you're from my neck of the woods. Obviously, with the name you are
I was gonna
Victoria.
say, probably with the name Victoria.
Also knows that the area I'm talking about is flat and sandy because it's on a delta. So that's another part of the issue. And deltas are basically just large piles of sand that people decided to build on. Let's put it this way: if we had an earthquake here, everywhere in Richmond, which is actually Richmond or Ladner, the South Delta area. Oh, you're in Saskatchewan, but your family's in BC. Okay, gotcha. Um, they did a thing where they showed what happens to buildings that are built on deltas and stuff like that when
Mhm.
there's a large scale earthquake. And by
Yep.
the way, we've had a bunch of them
I
recently
was just
here,
gonna say, you've been having a lot of earthquakes lately.
which is a good in a way because it releases pressure, but it's also an indicator that something bigger is coming.
Yeah,
At least historically, it's been that way. But the buildings just go floop, floop, floop right into the sand, like they just disappear.
crazy.
Yeah, they just sink right in there.
Yeah.
I was watching that go, fuck, I'm moving out of Richmond.
I'm not sure about the whole province, but I'm pretty sure Vancouver is like a world leader in earthquake prevention and stuff too. So I'm pretty sure
We've
that
got
like,
some interesting buildings because of it.
yeah, they have some like weird exoskeletons around some of the older buildings, and like
Mhm.
the bridges there are like next level high tech. Like, so if a big
We
one
have
does
one that
hit,
literally hangs on a middle pole, and the building is built around this, so when the earthquake comes, it just swings. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. I remember seeing like a documentary about how like advanced the city of Vancouver is and its earthquake prevention. And one of the engineers was talking about how like, we can do anything. Like we can build a building that'll never fall down, but it would be so expensive. No one would
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
build it. So that's where the engineering challenge comes in, is coming up
yeah.
with interesting ways to build these things so that they're indestructible. Like he actually commented on, he's like, we could actually build a car that never breaks down. Like we could do that, but no one would be able to afford to buy it.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem. Yara Victoria says, LOL, build the bridge now, and it can turn into a tunnel after the big one.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. The recent batch of little quakes that we've had here, I don't think any of them have gotten over four point something, whatever. But I don't remember feeling any of them myself. The last one I remember was a few years back, and it felt like a wave went underneath you, like
Okay.
it rolled past you. I was like,
Wow.
well, that was fucking weird. And the place where I live was my buddy's girlfriend, who's from your neck of the woods, Toronto. She's going, I'm moving back home. We don't get that shit over there. I'm out of here. This scared the fuck
Which
out of
isn't
me. She's all
true.
freaking out. No, I know.
We get them. Just some hours are so small that you just hardly even notice them. Um, but yeah, that's what the news was reporting, that in BC, that a lot of people, especially people who were already in cars driving, weren't even aware that this was
No,
happening.
no, I
Um,
didn't feel nothing.
yeah. But like you said, it's like, yeah, double check, make sure that your TVs are secured to the walls and your shelf units are secured, and because
Yeah.
something bigger could be on there. Because California also felt one or got one recently too.
I'm just
Um,
concerned all my Lego boxes are going to fall over.
oh
We
yeah,
can rebuild them.
I was just gonna say, it sounds like you would have a fun month, since that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Except
latest
for
set I
if
built is
the
this one
pieces
here.
were to be like mix and match, that might not be as much fun, but
Leonardo da Vinci's flying machine. Look at that.
oh,
That's
cool.
fucking awesome. You get a little Leo too in there.
You know what's funny is I did my little magnet scoreboard here for my little jokes and digs at atheists, right? On the other side, I was gonna write Neil will mention Lego. So that when you did, I could grab it and be all like, look, I just made a prediction. But I didn't write it because I was feeling lazy. Now I regret it.
Well,
'Cause I was gonna flip
I
it and
mean,
be like,
I'm going to look for any opportunity to bring Lego into the conversation.
yeah. I had one for when I was with SR a couple weeks ago on the backside, but I didn't get to use it. Was SR will say, "Let's get on the same page," but he didn't say it because we didn't have any calls.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, the call in studio wasn't working, so we just reacted to a video.
Since we can't get a theist caller, any Americans want to call in and apologize to two Canadians, now's your chance.
Yes.
You forgot the apostrophe in the nows, by the way.
Yeah. Or if you want to defend it, I would love
Yeah.
to chew you out.
Yeah. Don't make us come down there and burn down the White House again, because we will. Yeah. And we'll take all our peanut butter back. We invented the shit, so fuck you. Well, actually, not all of it. This guy here, I mean, there were two people big on the invention of peanut butter. And yes, I'm going to show you another Lego set. But this fella right here, George Washington Carver, right there,
Yeah,
also invented peanut butter. He's American. That was the STEM set the Lego just released, by the way.
We'll take our basketball back too.
Yeah.
You guys, we're taking our ball and going.
Canadian invented it in the U.S., so
doesn't matter.
True.
Not to me.
We also invented the house hippo.
Yep.
People are going, what?
Did you see the
new I Am Canadian guy?
Yes.
Yes.
Isn't that so good?
Yeah. And it looks like he barely aged is what kills me.
Yeah, like he stayed on
that first one came out in like the late 90s. And
yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? The guy didn't even age.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is there was a beer commercial 25 years ago. The beer specifically is called Canadian. It's the name of the beer is actually Canadian, Molson Canadian. And the commercial for us was more than just a beer commercial. It was something that tapped into Canadian patriotism, which if you don't know in Canada, although we're all really very proud of Canada, we don't walk around friggin' screaming Canada #1. Like we're not like
we just don't do that.
But that commercial really made you want to just go like, yeah, like
Canada.
Oh, Canada. So the gentleman whose name is Jeff, in the commercial, he called himself Joe. He's like, I am Joe. My name is Joe, and I am Canadian. That's how the commercial
actually
ends.
Jeff, but
his name is actually Jeff. He went ahead and released a new one in response to Trump and all the thing, and he really gets you, man. By the end of the commercial, you're just like right on, buddy.
That's our Jeff.
You know that imaginary line everyone talks about? It's not imaginary. It lives right here.
Exactly.
So we had a call, but then they disappeared. So I don't know.
The Leafs still didn't win the cup. Well, we haven't gotten there yet.
It would be un-Canadian at this point if they did win. It would be such a spit in the face of everything Canadians believe in. The only thing more persecuted than a Christian is a Leafs fan.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hysterical because one of the guys I work with is a Leafs fan, and they even got him his own parking sign, says parking for Leafs fans only, and they put it there for him so he can park his truck there. It's too funny.
I'm actually curious about because we still got 4 years of this clown, the tangerine buffoon.
Orange potato. That's what I call
it. It's gonna get really crazy. So I was actually wondering about professional sports. We share a lot of the leagues too, right? Like we're in the basketball league, we're in the hockey league, we're in the baseball leagues. We're not part of the football league because we have our own league. But I'm wondering how is that going to change? Like the tariffs for that, for example, like, I don't know.
That's an interesting question, actually.
So I feel like it's got to affect it in some way. It's got to be more than just booing the national anthem anyways. But
Oh, sorry. I was just going to look something up and I just realized, I still got I was looking up some chemistry stuff earlier because I'm a nerd. And I was talking to somebody about the different types of bonding in chemistry being covalent and ionic, right? But anyway, now I forgot what I was going to look. God damn it. Or look up. What were we talking about? Oh, that's right.
professional sports. Yeah, and I was going to make a point now and I forgot to, but anyways. Oh yeah, I was going to suggest that like we should have the winner of the Super Bowl face the winner of the Grey Cup in a football game. Like the first half will play American rules, second half will play Canadian rules.
That would be interesting, right?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a story behind all this too. Like Canada invented football their own way. Americans also invented football. It was developed in the U.S., but it has the close ties to Canadian football, which originated from rugby brought to Canada by British immigrants in 1823. In 1868, the Montreal Football Club is formed, marking the first official start of Canadian football. In 1880, the Canadian Rugby Football Union is founded, and then everything changed. They wrote down the new rules. 1874, McGill University of Montreal introduced the game to the United States. The first modern football games were played between McGill University and Harvard on May 14th and 15th in 1874. The rules of the game has changed over time, obviously. Canadians made their own set of rules, and Americans made their own set of rules.
Crazy.
Yeah, our balls are bigger. And we have more.
Our game is faster.
It is, yeah. It's like my dad was never really a huge football fan. Like he'll watch the American football. He liked the American football better, but he never wanted to go to a game. He goes, but he kind of described football, which turned me off of it for quite some time. He goes, it's a lot of 5 seconds of action, 10 minutes of waiting. 5 seconds of action, 10 minutes of waiting. Right? It's like, that sounds great. But baseball is pretty boring to watch too. I used to play it even though I was a kid.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills will come and play over in Toronto for like one game a season usually. Or they used to. I don't know if they still do. Yeah. I used to work the event. It was always a big deal. Like the Sky Dome, or I guess the Rogers Center now, like that thing sits 65,000 people to watch a football game, an American football game.
Didn't we have an American football team once?
No.
I remember that happening.
I don't think so.
No? Oh, no. The U.S. had a Canadian football team. That's what it was.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago. We didn't have a Canadian basketball team. It wasn't that long ago.
True enough.
Like it
was
in
the
my
Grizzlies
lifetime.
until they got rid of it and they went to Memphis. The Vancouver Grizzlies.
And then
one of the guys I work with still has a hat that he likes to wear, a Vancouver Grizzlies hat.
Yeah. And then the champion, the Raptors, right? We've only got the one team in the whole country now. They're champions. Not bad. So is that a call we got waiting there?
No, I think so, yeah. Well, how do you like them apples? John. Oh boy.
Don't take it yet. Don't take it.
No. I was trying to think of what they were called. Was it what was the name of the American football team, or the Canadian football team in America?
Well, I don't know. I'm just learning that it existed.
Football team was in the U.S. Oops.
Yeah, I don't know.
Through expansion, Canadian.
In the 90s, 7 U.S. cities were home to CFL franchises: Sacramento, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Memphis, Birmingham,
Baltimore,
Fairport, and Baltimore. Wow,
yeah,
that didn't last, I guess.
So no, it didn't take off down there. Nobody down there wanted to go watch Canadian football. They wanted to stay with their American football. West with the all caps. Don't take it yet, because I've been known to sort of do that. So.
Yeah. It's a great little interview with Trudeau about what's it been
Dave,
like dealing with Trump, like all day today. Like, what was it like? Is all the craziness of Trump? And Trudeau's answer was just like so casual. He's just like, Thursday. Just another day.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, for Trudeau, it must feel like he finally got to like be a leader for the first time in 10 years. Where like he was just the guy, kind of like he might have been the face of the country, if you will, or the leader, but he didn't have to do any really like big moves. Well, the pandemic, I guess that's not true. Yeah, the pandemic, he did pretty good work there. But but yeah, with Trump, it's like, oh man, I'm working now. Oh, my camera. Here we go.
Ollie, Canadians sort of invented football, but they first introduced the idea to the Americans, who developed their own version of football and American football. And then Canada it was sort of a rugby hybrid thing, and then we turned ours into what we now know of as Canadian football.
Isn't that a similar thing to like why there's an American league and a national league? We got the Canadian, we had like Canadian rules, and then the Americans had their own rules, and then we merged the leagues or something.
Could be.
Because
so
baseball is a big deal in
that pisses
Canada
me
too.
off all the time.
Yeah. But it's a call. So
it is a call. Let me see. Am I allowed to take it now? Okay. He says, okay, now you can take it now. All right. So let's take our call here. Is last on air last Sunday, March 2nd. It's called us 15 times. It's John from Canada. That's nice and specific. He's a theist. God is the most benevolent being in the universe, which I find a really funny statement, and I'll tell you why in a second. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hello. You're very quiet. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
If anyone's
can't
able
really
to
hear
fix
you.
that. I just could barely hear him.
You're breaking up on us, man.
You're speaking with Justin and Neil, but your volume is so low. I believe
doing the clicky
people,
thing like it's not.
Yeah, I believe our people backstage are probably trying to raise your volume here. John, like I said, we can hear you, but it's really, really quiet.
I haven't heard anything. He said just a little. That's all I've been getting. Maybe try calling back in.
Can you hear us, John? Yeah. You're super duper 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 quiet, and I don't think it's necessarily your fault. Just hang on a second. Yeah, I assume someone's trying to work on it.
Never assume.
Never assume.
Yeah. I don't know. Our people are on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you hear that little weird squealy noises there?
Yeah, but I can hear him.
Frozen?
I can hear him pretty clearly. It's just so low, like incredibly low. I wonder if our audience can even hear.
I don't know. I don't hear him at all, personally. So.
Well, he's back in the screening room now. So, anyways, we'll carry on for a moment, I guess. We tested all of this stuff beforehand. Honestly, people, we don't just go live and hope it'll work. Like, this stuff was tested, but you never ever know. Technology is a weird thing. And if you've never tried to integrate things like a StreamYard with a call-in studio and all that, it's tricky business. Very, very tricky business. But yeah.
Wes is like, I don't know what the hell to do about this. I'm just going to check things out.
All right. Well, hang in there, John. We'll get you on here. But
but I just think the whole thing about God is the most benevolent being in the universe. The universe is really, really big. How the hell could you possibly know that?
Also, the use of the word benevolent is just a whole lot of like, if we're going to accept the Bible as God's word,
being true,
then there's
He's
a lot
not
of things,
benevolent.
and there's not a whole lot of benevolent going on in there.
Nope. And it's not justice, by the way. It is never just to give somebody infinite punishment for finite crimes. Never, ever just to do that.
I don't want to get too hard into it because he's not here to defend his side, but he's back in the queue. I don't know if that means we should try him again.
He's back in the queue. We can try it again. Hang on one second here. I don't know. Wes, did you figure anything out? Hang on. I don't know if it changed. I raised the volume. Okay, raise the volume. All right, let's see what we can do here. Let's try it again. All right, let's try it again. Hey, John. Can you hear us?
So quiet.
I don't hear anything.
I can hear
calling from your computer or a phone, or
I don't think it's John. No, John. I know it's you, John. I know that. I'm saying I don't think that the audio issue is you, because the very little bit of you I can hear is clear.
You can actually hear something?
Yeah, and I'm the
I can't hear shit.
Like, I raise my headphone volume up really loud.
He's calling off the web too, not a phone. Oh boy. I can't hear anything.
I almost want to be like, just give John the StreamYard link. Let's go. Let's get him in here.
Get him on here. Yeah.
If he's calling from his computer, can we DM a message to him? Whatever.
Brunette moose. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I don't know.
I can hear you saying hello, John. Just so you know.
Why can't I hear anyone? They're saying I can't hear anybody. I don't know what to do. I mean, I can hear you, Justin, but I cannot hear John. Now, Wes says he can hear John. Oh, I can't hear either. Oh. I hear John. I hear you guys. Tell him I saw yes. No, I can't. Oh.
He's talking to you guys, and you're not hearing him at all right now.
Okay, so why is that? Why could you hear him and we can't? Oh, this is bad. Very bad. Very bad. This is good for the branding, people. Just go back to the show. Okay. All right. John, we'll have to try again another time. Oh, that was quick. Sorry about that, John. I know you probably have things you wanted to respond to with what I said about all that, but yeah, just I understand your argument. There's so many things I could say about that kind of a statement. Yeah. Banned caller? What? You're basically told, first of all, you're born into the right religion.
That was a mistake, guys.
Okay. So you're born into the right religion, clearly. You're told that this being that you believe in is the all loving, all powerful, tech savvy Neil. Yeah, no, not really. You're told that this being is all of these things, right? The quad omni, as I call it, or as I've also heard other people call it, omnibenevolent, omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent, which is contradictory in itself. You can't be omnibenevolent and omnipotent. You just doesn't work. So, and like I said, it's you can't be omnibenevolent when you're putting people in a situation where they either have to love you or you burn them forever for not doing so. That's not just. Right? So it just isn't. Tons of my says it's probably a Canadian Lego phone. I see the guy who actually built an old school one out of Lego, even with a working rotary on it.
Oh, wow.
It's like, yeah. I've also watched videos where like people, I guess my age or older, bring out one of those old rotary phones and give it to kids that are used to, they know nothing but these things. They don't even know the old push button phones.
Yeah.
And they said, can you guys figure out how this works? And they're like putting their fingers in the holes and trying to hit the numbers to make them do something.
Yeah.
Like, and then people are laughing like, no. Like, what's with the holes? Like, what does this do? I don't understand.
I remember our green rotary phone that sat right next to our flower pattern couch.
God, awful, like pea green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would just, while watching He-Man or whatever, I would just be flipping that rotary just for fun.
Yeah.
Just with it on the hook.
On the line. Yeah.
I also remember the old, because a lot of people even still in Canada today will call the remote the clicker. And I remember having the actual clicker, which was this like shoebox size brown box with a wire that ran to the TV, where you just press the channel you want. You didn't scroll up and down for channel or type the number of the channel. There was a button for every channel, and you just press the button, and that's the channel that went to. You press the button, that's the channel it went to. And there was like 20 channels if you had cable.
Yeah, there was a name for those things, and you could pull a lever to go to the higher channels, and then go to even weird channels or something. There's 3.
I remember just playing it like an instrument, just like with your fingers. You're just like click, 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 going through the channels, quick, click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Because when you press the button down, when you press one button down, the other button came up, and it made a click,
popped up.
Click, click, click. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. And you needed a college degree to hook up your Atari to the TV. You needed tools to hook up your video games to the TV. Required tools.
Buddy, when we got our Atari, the first one way back, I think it was the late 70s, we were the most popular house in the neighborhood. All the kids were over there playing on that fucking thing.
Yeah.
My guys, it only has 2 controllers. Take it easy. They were the big joystick ones.
I can hear your voice twice now, by the way, Neil.
You can hear my voice twice.
Yeah,
well, then.
So whatever people are doing in the back. It's very quiet, though. So it's not annoying or weird or anything.
Oh, I thought my voice was just annoying anyways, but...
Oh, come on. Stop it.
It's funny because when I had Mr. Andrews, the thinking atheist, Seth Andrews, on the show with me, people in the chat were like, oh my God, this is like atheist ASMR over here. You're going to put us all to sleep. Because our voices are pretty deep and... like molasses. Yeah, and they thought, these guys have faces for radio. And the funny thing is he used to be a radio personality back in the day.
Yeah. Seth Andrews put out some content in the last week too. Very, very kind of like ominous, I guess, a little bit. Kind of like can't get over the state of like what's going on over there.
Yeah. Was it? What are they saying now? It's like 1984, The Handmaid's Tale, and Animal Farm all mixed together is going on down there right now.
Yeah. Handmaid's Tale, fun fact, was filmed in my town where I live.
Which one? Handmaid's Tale, really?
Tale. Yep.
Wow. Is it echoing for you, No, not for me.
Yeah, no, I can hear you like quiet the same way I was hearing John, just like doubled up.
Oh,
But
interesting.
so it's not like it's echoing to the point of where it's just annoying or gonna be a problem. But in case
Okay.
anyone is playing with audio in the background trying to get things working,
They're
that's the
not hearing
speed
the
limit.
echo in the chat, so that's a good thing.
All
No
right.
echo.
Maybe the whole thing's in my head, and I imagined the John call, and I thought I was talking to John. Maybe that was as strong a connection that God could make was with me and John, and it was just like you have to seek out God if you want to find him. I would desperately wanted to talk to John so I could hear him. Um, I've had one call with John so far, and as someone who watches a lot of atheist content, I've seen him call in a lot of other shows.
Yes, me too.
And the last time John called, he hung up on me. So
Back
um,
scratcher. Sorry.
yeah, I got a bunch of those too.
Yeah,
They're
these things are the
essential.
best. The telescopic ones.
They,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
they break all the time though.
Oh, I know. We've been through like 50 of the things here. Before we continue rambling, just thought I'd let you guys know that the Skeptic Haven Network has lots of other shows. Tuesday nights, we have the Secular Soapbox, which is a lot of fun. Thursday nights is the Sunny Spot. Saturdays are the Global Atheists Unload and Women Atheists Unload. Or sorry, the Global Atheists and Women Atheists Unload. I don't know why I put unload in there twice. I guess I was unloading some extra letters. With lots of great hosts. And on Sundays, while you're watching it now, it's the Let's Talk Show. We also want to, because, not much else to do at the moment. We like to thank our awesome patrons, Paul Camish, Karen Butcher, Hell's Bells, Logan Fisher, Amanda McLeod, Jamie West, Sidney Davis Jr., Eric Ozols, Tara S., Rion, D. Murphy, Dan D., Shannon Gray, Michael Wiseman, Bass Thrasher, which is like the coolest fucking name ever, or bass Thrasher, I guess it would be, Bryce Roney, Jena Miyu, Deborah Grace, Sonny Shell, and Phil Calderone. And our members include the likes of Cynthia McDonald and Kelly McLaughlin, who you guys probably know from the nonprofits. So yeah, lots of great people. Support our show. And if you want to support our show, there are many ways to do so. Probably linked in the description box below. I didn't check first, but it's usually where they are. Usually where I put them on my show. So there you go. Tonight's show equals Let's Talk really softly.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to being able to get to some calls again on this channel someday.
Yeah.
It would be really, really nice. But you know what? It's cool hanging out with you and stuff too. I think we managed to fill an hour out pretty good. You would think it's hard, but actually it's pretty easy.
There you go, folks.
The state of the world over there. Yeah, if you want to help
almost
our channel.
ASMR with Neil.
Yeah.
Where's my damn it? Where did I put it? I actually have a lot of ASMR artists like to use the makeup brushes, little flat, and they do on top of the thing like that. And I have a makeup brush that I use for spiders. Funny enough.
Okay.
But it's rather than poke at them with something hard, you use a little makeup brush to coax them out of their little web hammocks that they build. Because I have jumping spiders. Well, I had jumping spiders. The last one passed away fairly recently. So I am sans jumping spiders at the moment, but I will get a few more because I have a few habitats to use. So they're awesome. Jumping spiders are awesome. They're so cute. I want to name one Pong, actually. Titan was the first kid on my block with Pong. Yeah, me too. I was cool for like a week. Yeah, then all the other houses got it. That's right. Yeah. I want to name one of the spiders Pong.
I don't think I could ever have a pet spider or live with a spider.
Really?
No.
You
know what? I might as well just admit to myself it's a phobia at this point. Like I really just.
That's all right. Fair enough. A lot of people are scared of spiders.
Yeah.
I am not one of those people.
I have a house with like it's not even really a crawl space. It's just like a space that's just like a foot and a half between the ground and the floor. And I went under there a couple years ago and like had to like re-insulate it all and everything. And like, oh man, what a terrifying experience. Just worried about running into like a really big spider and pissing him off or something. Luckily, the only thing that happened is I ended up with a big ass slug fell on my face. It was the only insect incident the whole time, and that wasn't fun either, really. But it was pretty gross. But
So Titan Uranus says arachnophobia is partially genetic. You know what? I thought so too, and I looked it up, and it's not. Apparently, neither is the fear of snakes. It's a learned trait. It's something that comes in because they're unfamiliar to us. When you're an infant, if you see something big and hairy, you're going to be scared of it. If you see something slimy and long, you're going to be scared of it. But we do have a fear, I guess you could call it genetic, of things that we are unfamiliar to us. And that always happens at an early age when you're an infant or very young and you encounter these things that you don't know what they are and they're scary to you. But yeah, apparently
I just saw a
not
YouTube
genetic
video
memory
/
or whatever.
I just saw like a YouTube video / experiment where they had like a room full of babies and toddlers, and they filled it with like boa constrictors. And the babies were just like it was nothing.
They wanted
It
to
was
touch
just
it.
another thing they wanted to touch. It was it.
Yeah. They're like, ooh, what's that? Well, I think after an hour and 15 minutes of you and I just rambling on about
Life in Canada.
shit, life in Canada, spiders, Lego.
We're in the
you
middle
name
of the defrost, so I'll be going back outside again soon and hopefully get a little bit of color again, so that's exciting, you know.
it. That's a fear from the Garden of Eden. Nice one, Karen. We're taught to fear the serpent. Oh yeah, that whole Garden of Eden thing is a scam, by the way, guys. I mean, if God is all knowing, then he already knew ahead of time that Adam and Eve were going to fall from grace in the garden. So the whole thing is a setup anyway. So
Yeah. It was also the first time God lied to people.
Mm-hmm. Was it the first time? Like, how do we know that?
Yeah, well, I mean, from what if I'm to understand it correctly, that if you read the Bible, that actually any moment where there's very few of them, by the way, but any moment where Satan is involved, he's the only one telling the truth in the narrative. He's the only one who's actually saying the things that are going to happen.
Yeah. He's also
For like everything God says, he always seems to step back. He always seems to like put a pause on it, I guess. Oh man. Look,
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I could see that they think that we should be scared of things like that because it would be in our benefit, right? That's the fight or flight mechanism. Anyway, but yeah, as far as I know, they debunked that whole thing about it being us being genetically encoded to be scared of specific things. It's scared of the unknown is a survival thing. So also scared of
and
other
on that
people.
note, with as much as that, like Neil and I seem to demonstrate Canadian pride against our former American friends, I think it's important to also mention that for those of you who are supporting us and this channel and everything like that, and in America, that like we actually do like we feel for you, and we hope that this thing comes out on the other side where it'll get rebuilt quickly and we'll get back to normalcy.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Just know this
and I
too.
don't think there's an American who would blame us either. Be like, no, our country's legitimately attacking you. Like, you're cool, defend yourselves.
Just a reminder too. Like a lot of people are upset that we're booing the anthem and stuff like that. We're not booing your anthem. We're not booing you. We're not booing the
Not
people.
booing your players.
We're booing your fucking bullshit government that's going on in there right now. That's what we're booing. We're booing what they're doing to us. Just FYI.
I almost want to find the "We Are Canadian" bit and play it as our outro.
Well, it's not hard to find. It's like everywhere right now.
Yeah, it's just about to hit 1 million views.
Yeah,
which in Canada is like 1 in 4 people have seen it.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Philadelphia? I have not been to Philadelphia. I've been pretty much. I've probably been to about maybe 20 different states. So, but not Philadelphia. Yeah, a lot of the eastern ones I've not been. I've been to Florida. Been to Georgia. Been to Texas. Been to what the hell?
I'm
State?
waiting for you to
New
just say Las
Orleans?
Vegas, because like who hasn't been to Las Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas, yes. California, of course. Washington State, obviously. The 3 states that border BC. I've
For
been to all
future
3 of those.
reference, when you're listing the states you've been to, just get Las Vegas out of the way. It's like the one that everyone's been to.
Yeah. Fair enough. New Mexico, I've been to. Oregon. Yeah, I've been to about 20 of them, I guess.
I've been to Las Vegas, and I've been.
I want to go to Philadelphia because I got to have a Philly cheesesteak in Philadelphia. It's like I finally got to have a Chicago dog in Chicago. So there's another one. I've been to Illinois too. So
Not counting like the states or the cities that are immediately close to me, like Buffalo and, I mean, the New York State, for example.
I was gonna say, wait a minute, Buffalo's not a state, dude.
But I said states and cities that are like right near me, right? So, I've been to like Ohio, like Sandusky, to go to Six Flags. I've been to Colorado, and I played paintball at
that's
Mile
another
High
one I've been
Stadium.
to.
Yeah, and then spent 10 wonderful days in Las Vegas, where I did not lose all my money. Awesome.
Infidel says, Neil, that cheesesteak better be with me. Well, sure. Yeah, we'll hook up. Go have a cheesesteak.
Is it going to be
Tell me I
tariff?
was born there, but I really don't remember.
What's 25% on a
25% more.
cheesesteak?
I don't know. Probably a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
Which
I guess
I'm
there's
okay
like
paying.
there's a BC town or an Alberta town or something that's so close to America, and like both the little towns on both sides, Canada side and US side, are so intertwined that like the Canadian side actually goes to the American side just to get groceries and stuff. It's like the
Yeah.
largest port of entry for the province. It might be Alberta or even maybe Saskatchewan. In any case, they don't even know how to charge the tariff. So like their $125 worth of groceries, by the time they were done trying to figure out tariff, then the bill was like they had to pay an extra $200.
And then they got to go to the border and get hit with more fucking.
Yeah, so
charges.
and for
what do they
them,
call it?
because it's such a small town, that's their only route to food. Like they literally, everyone in that town, in the Canadian town, goes to the like American grocery store for food.
We have an interesting one here in BC. We have a little place called Point Roberts that's attached to BC. It's the south tip of Coalson, which is probably this most southern area other than White Rock around here, that has this chunk of land attached to the BC province. But then there's the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. It's part of Washington State, just a little chunk of land. Like it's not even fucking 5 miles long. It's like, well, why don't you guys just give it to us and just be done with it? It's like, why? Because the border 49th parallel or whatever the hell it is, I guess, I don't know, goes right through it. So they kept it. It's like, wow, how petty.
Yeah.
You kept a little
so
tiny,
the kids
like,
who go to school there have to like go through a Canadian border passing every day just to get to school.
well, if they don't go to school there in Point Roberts, then they got to come up through Canada and then they got to go down through the Peace Arch into Blaine, Washington. So, and that's where all their business has to come in and out through the border to get stuff from the mainland USA.
I almost
Just so
want
that-
us to close the gate on
I
the
get my
Peace
gas
Arch.
there though.
I almost want us to close the gate on the Peace Arch as a symbol.
Close
like
the gate
Peace
of the Peace Arch? Yeah.
Well, because it has a gate on the side with engraved into stone, may this gate never be closed.
Yeah.
I kind of want to just be like, no, we're just going to close it. Just and just symbolically, we'll just zip tie it shut. We won't lock it. We'll just zip tie it. Just a little zap strap.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Anyway.
I mean, if we're not going to be getting any calls or doing calls, I guess, shall we move on with our afternoon/days or evenings here?
Yes, depending on where you are in the globe. But thanks everyone for hanging out and listening to us ramble about absolutely. It's like a Seinfeld episode. We just ramble about nothing. Hope you guys at least maybe learned something. I don't know. But we did try to throw.
It was just two Canadians coping.
Yep. Yep. Coping with these tariffs. Oh, fuck you, Trump. Anyway.
At least our marijuana is legal.
I'm going to go smoke some right now. That's how depressed I am. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I guess remember all the other shows we got there, guys. And come back and check us out every Sunday for this one. Let's talk. Till then, Justin, good to see you, brother.
You too, man.
Don't forget.
See you guys again in April.
Crashing your
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.